Hello and welcome to the first episode of Kazama Clinic, where I review my subscribers' matches, show you where you can improve, and throw you some tips along the way. If you'd like to get featured, the steps to submit your gameplay will be at the end of this video. So now let's get into the first match. Alright, so we're doing Asuka versus Devil Jin. This is a pretty difficult matchup because Hell Sweep is sort of hard to deal with on this character. Response into can. Charge move, okay. Good flip over. And we want to talk about this Oki. So after he fails this combo, I see the can come out. We can make an argument for that. Then we see two jabs. So now we have some data on this Devil Jin already. So after seeing these one jabs, we can start to get some data that Devil Jin likes to play very jab centric. Jab centric offense is really easy to deal with Asuka, because we can just hit parry, or we could sidestep. Okay, sidestep left or right. So in both cases, we can use a sidestep 2, or we could do a sidestep block and block this flash punch for a combo. And if we have a really hard read, we can use a punch parry. So either one will work, but we don't really have a bunch of data to make a hard read like that just yet. We do have to keep this in mind just in case we see it again. If you're wondering about this charge move, we can get up as fast as possible and parry this knockdown. I can show you that real quick. We'll go ahead and tech roll, parry. We also have time to do a punch parry, but it's not a lot of time. There's that. So usually that'll be the answer. Then we get this really good knockdown on Devil Jin and a really nice flip over. What I want to kind of make a point of here is anytime our opponent is on the ground, we want to use a very low hitting mid or just use a low. So here I'd get this install and immediately go into down forward 3 or a down 1+2. You can also use forward 3+4. So any of those options will work. Just make sure you're picking them right away and getting your data by using an option. Any high hitbox mids or any highs aren't as valuable, especially since he's not waking up with kicks. He's kind of staying on the floor, and we'll talk more about that as the match goes on. So here's another situation where Devil Jin is using jab centric offense. So we see a jab, a down forward 1, and this can also be dealt with the same way we looked at it before. We can sidestep to the right, and get around that jab. Just like that. Also have time to launch, and we can also parry. So again, we don't want to just hold back and deal with this pressure because we have tools to deal with it. Devil Jin's getting more and more predictable with how he does his jab-centric offense. And here's another situation where we are needing to Oki this Devil Jin. So you notice there's a little bit of hesitation as soon as this install is over. See one dash, and then you pick your option. The problem with this approach is that the longer we wait to Oki, the easier it is for them to get up. We don't want to give them that leeway to stand up and start blocking. We really just want to go for that option immediately. Because forward 2 1+2 would have worked here. It's just it took too long to come out. We could do something like that. Moving on. Gets blocked. Down back 2. Rage Art lands. Skip through that. And then a spring attack to end the round. Okay, 1-1. Nice counter hit there. Okay, while running 1+2 was the right option. But he just so happened to duck it, so we'll keep that in mind. Some more charge moves. In this case, there's no way out of this one. He charges way too early for us to be able to buffer a parry. But this is not the case here. So we'll go back to this hard knockdown. So here's the hard knockdown. You're already holding back, which means you're going to tech and go right back onto your feet. Now we do have enough time to parry. I'll take control. Parry. So we can parry here. We can also use punch parry. Again, just showing you some situations where it's relevant. We power crash through it. Spring attack. More jabs. Okay, so we die here. I want to talk about this situation here. You are as close as you could possibly be to him as soon as his spring attack begins. Devil Jin has shown spring attack in the first round. You can kind of expect it by this point, but notice how close you are to Devil Jin. The closer we are to spring attack, the better chance we have at launch punishing it. So you do a great job of holding back here. Boom. We're plus 24. We're able to use forward 2 or down forward 2. If you use throw as a punish, there's a chance he techs it, and that's what happened. Moving on to the third round. We got a hell sweep. Takes us downstairs. Nothing too crazy. Straight to the wall. Back into a charge mix-up. Again, not the best situation here. Good job staying on the ground, that's good. And then forward 1 does not land. That'll be the round. Alright, moving on to the second match of this set. Starting out with down 4, some nice little pokes. You engage your lands, good block. Can. Okay. So that was pretty explosive, and I'm going to show you why this happened and how we can avoid that. So after Devil Jin gets his heat engager here, we block the laser. He's still plus 2, and he uses that time to make you guess, right? But we have a little bit of time to sidestep block. Look at that. We're right around that kick and punish pretty easily from there. We can also take our chances and jab. But I honestly wouldn't risk this just because a good Devil Jin player will play frame tight, and we will beat frame tight with sidestep block. So I'll try that first. We chose Can. It was a decent guess, but I feel like sidestep block would have been a bit more optimal. Okay, nice. And charge move's going. Nice while running 1+2. Okay, we'll talk about how to optimize that here in a second. Yes, perfect. Nice wall ender there. Now I want to talk about how to optimize this combo. Currently what's happening is we're still locked in an animation while Devil Jin is hitting the wall. So what we can do instead is we get this while running 1+2. We use forward 4, and then we use forward 2-1. Then we'll just jab. That'll give us 92 damage in a really good Oki situation. This throw was great. Then we end the combo with that nice string. Love to see that. Moving on to the next round. The activation, good block. More jabs from Devil Jin. We got rid of our heat pretty quickly, so that could be a little bit of a risk. Good can. We're gonna break the floor hopefully. And we're going to keep the floor. Definitely want to break the floor early because that's what could happen, right? If we don't break it, then they might. So we might as well break the floor. Okay, destabilizer. So hard. This is really hard to guess against Devil Jin. We don't want to do that. Hopefully we win this round. Nice block. So I want to talk about some of that neutral happening. Let's go back. So this situation here was pretty sketchy only because down forward 1 was not being revealed as often. Here we could have punished that with a launcher. But this is the classic Devil Jin pressure. Right, he goes into his wave dash. That could be a hell sweep, or it could be this mid. Who knows? It's really hard to try and guess against that. What we'll do instead is we'll just use down forward 1. Right? We don't want to guess against that. So we won't. We'll just use down forward 1 and keep him out from those options. Otherwise, we're stuck guessing, and that could be very, very difficult. So then the rest of this round plays out, and you had a really good block on that hell sweep. More 1-1, 1-1, just like we saw in the last match. He's pretty much been representing this almost every round. We definitely want to respond in some way. Again, we'll probably just sidestep or parry. Either one will work. More jabs, more down forward 1. Good, so this is probably going to hurt. Nice heat activation. Into unblockable. Okay. Heat smash gets interrupted. It happens. Still have heat. It's no big deal. Okay, good throw. And we're waiting way too long to represent an option. So I think this was a great start to your offense, but delaying your timing isn't viable here only because we haven't really even showed immediate timing enough to this Devil Jin yet. So I would honestly make your main focus of committing to your options right away. All of this passing time is just kind of ruining your offense, giving Devil Jin more time to press buttons. So there, I think we're dead from that. So after this throw, run up. So after this throw, I want you to run up right away and pressure another option. That could have been the round right there. Could have been a down 1+2. That also would have been a round. But you need to represent it right away. Okay. Devil Jin doing pretty much the same stuff he's been doing. Very good. Low parry there. Okay. Another really good block on the hell sweep there. Yep, forward 2. Very good, very good. That was good. Moving on to the last match of this set. Okay, more charge moves from Devil Jin into hell sweep. Nothing we haven't seen before. Okay. One thing I can note about the charge moves here is that we can stay on the floor and not get hit by the charge move. This particular player has shown a habit of using it, so I'll probably be wary of it at this point. All right, go ahead and let that whiff. You don't want him to get that wall pressure. Something like that. Moving on to the next round. Whoa, he's going a little crazy with the unblockable. Okay. Okay. Very good. I like the pressure. It looks really good. The activation, secure that win. Nice. Good. Like you're making a read on electric there. Another situation where we see the laser, we can step to the right. Get out of that pressure. Good. That's kind of a frame trap. It's not a true frame trap, but it's definitely a good sequence. The activation, very good. Into unblockable, why not? It's probably gonna hurt. Oh, and it just barely connects. Down forward 1. That works as well. Very clean win. Okay, trying to make reads with Ken. Nothing wrong with that. That's tough to deal with. We had no choice but to guess there. Okay, that's a big whiff. Wow, what a low parry. Nice, straight to the wall. Very good. See how quickly you pick your option there. And there's success in that. But look how long you wait for this next option. Not worth it. So go ahead and just pick your option right away. There's no harm in doing this. There's no reason to wait. Okay. So a lot of this player's woes come from delaying mix-up options that don't need to be delayed. It's kind of creating a situation where we are losing an interaction just because we're waiting too long. But we're picking the right option. Okay, he finishes it while standing forward. So to sum it up, I would say the best thing to focus on at the moment is committing to your Oki options. There's no reason to delay your timing unless we have a very hard read. The second thing you want to focus on is learning to sidestep from jabs and down forward 1. And that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know if you're enjoying this long form content, and if you want to be featured in the next community breakdown, leave a comment with your character, your Tekken ID, and what you're struggling with the most. And if you want an in-depth breakdown of your own gameplay, click the link in the description below. And as always, have a great day, guys. Want to take your Asuka to pro level? My exclusive Medify course has everything you need, each broken down in easy to follow videos. Get the course for a one-time price and get lifetime access and free updates.